Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of the Philippines, President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
That the three guys in the elevated portion of Congress are from Mindanao. So wala na talaga kaming masabi. Representatives, Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo, President Fidel V. Ramos, President Joseph Estrada, President Arroyo, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Serrano, and the Justices of Justices of the Supreme Court, His Excellency Papa Nuncio, members of the diplomat. We cannot, well, of course, I have also to greet the Executive Secretary, Salvador Medjaldia, the members of the Cabinet, fellow workers in government, my countrymen. We cannot move forward if we allow the past to pull us back. Finger pointing is not the way. That is why I will not waste precious time dwelling on the sins of the past or blaming those who are perceived to be responsible for the mess that we are in and suffering from. Except maybe to extract a lesson or two from its errors, we will not tarry because it is the present that we are concerned with and the future that we should be prepared for. Lest I be misunderstood, let me say clearly that those who betrayed the people's trust shall not go unpunished, and they will have their day in court. And if the evidence warrants, they will have their day of recto. When I decided to seek the presidency of this republic, I knew what the ills of our country were. I knew their causes, and I was briefed on those who caused the causes. I heard the people on the streets complain that justice had become illusory, that equity and fairness and speedy disposition of cases had deteriorated into hollow concepts fit only for masterly dissertations. It was and still is very sad indeed. As a former prosecutor, I know there are always ways of knowing how fast or how slow cases go. What I did was to look into the number of postponements and the time difference between each postponement and the next setting. It was simple as that. I will appreciate deeply if we all in government attend to this urgent need. I was determined then, as I am now determined and better positioned to wage war against those who make a mockery of our laws, including those who make life for us all miserable. I wish to assure everyone, though, that vindictiveness is not in my system, just like you and I, all equal treatment and equal protection are what I ask for our people. But we must have the courage to fight for what we believe in, undeterred by the fear of failing or losing. Indeed, courage knows no limits. Cowardice does. At this point, there are concerns few I wish to convey to all, to the end that as I perorate on facts, figures, plans, programs, and solutions, these concerns will not dissipate or get lost along our way. Thus, to our religious bishops, leaders, priests, pastors, preachers, imam, let me assure you that while I am a stickler for the principle of separation between church and state, I believe quite strongly that there should never be a separation between God and state. During my inauguration last 2016, I said that the fight against criminality and illegal drugs and corruption will be relentless and sustained. I reiterate that commitment today, and that is why I call on the Philippine National Police, the barangay chairman, the mayors and governors, are all those occupying seats of power and authority not to lower their guard. There will be no let up in this campaign. Double your efforts, triple them if need be. We will not stop until the last drug lord, the last financier, and the last pusher have surrendered or put behind bars. Or below the ground, if they so wish. To our police officers and other officials, do your job, and you will have the unwavering support of the Office of the President. I will be with you all the way. Abuse your authority, and there will be a hell to pay. For you will have become worse than criminality itself. I order the National Police Commission to hasten the conduct of investigation and adjudication of administrative cases against police officers involved in criminal activity and illegal activities, and prescribe policies on lifestyle checks for PNP members. In this quest, I will put at stake my honor, my life, and the presidency itself. The DLG is also directed to strictly monitor how LGUs perform their supervision functions over the police. Those found that performing will be sanctioned, including the loss of police deputation from the NAPOLCOM. Let me repeat my warning to all. I repeat to all. Do not do drugs. Because you will be the solution to the drug crisis that has engulfed Malawa, the nation. We will create an interagency committee on illegal drugs that will integrate efforts and strengthen the partnerships of all stakeholders. The reservists will be mobilized for information campaign against drug use and dissemination of information regarding drug rehabilitation program being offered by the government. Let us also strengthen our ROTC program to instill love of country and good citizenship. We will also prioritize the rehabilitation of drug users. We will increase the number of residential treatment and rehabilitation facilities in all regions of the country. The armed forces of the Philippines will facilitate the preparation for the use of military camps and facilities for drug rehabilitation. There can never be real, tangible, and felt development without making our people feel secure. And it is our duty to uplift the people's welfare. With this, my administration shall be sensitive to the state's obligation to promote and protect, fulfill the human rights of our citizens, especially the poor, the marginalized, and the vulnerable, and social justice will be pursued even as the rule of law shall at all times prevail. My administration shall implement a human approach to development and governance as we improve our people's welfare in the areas of health, education, adequate food and housing, environmental preservation, and respect for culture. Human rights must work to uplift human dignity. But human rights cannot be used as a shield or an excuse to destroy the country. Your country, I am my country. Meantime, since our country continues to be confronted with internal security threats aggravated by the existence and activities of the terrorist group Abu Sayyaf, the full force of the AAP will be applied to crush these criminals who operate under the guise of religious fervor. The AAP shall enhance its capability to search and engage these rogue and lawless elements. We have to strengthen our coordination with Indonesia and Malaysia to suppress the kidnapping in the waters of our neighboring countries. We will strengthen our counter-terrorism programs by amending various laws on human terrorism financing, and cybercrime. This is our answer to the challenges of the global developments on the non-traditional threats, transnational crimes, and fanatical terrorism. Addressing global warming shall all be our top priority, but upon a fair and equitable equation. It must not stymie our industrialization. We also endeavor to develop and cooperate partnership with nations sharing common interests and concerns with the Philippines, maintain and sustain bilateral and multilateral consultations and dialogues. We will continue to expand operation on human assistance, disaster response, maritime security, and counterterrorism. We shall deepen security dialogues with other nations to build greater understanding and cooperation. With regard to the West Philippine Sea, otherwise known as China Sea, we strongly affirm and respect the outcome of the case before the Permanent Court of Arbitration as an important contribution to the ongoing efforts to pursue a peaceful resolution and management of our disputes. On the aspect of our peace processes relating to our engagement with the international community, the Philippines shall remain committed to work under international and with industrial partners, achieving lasting peace and progress in the country. We will vigorously address the grievances that have been time and again expressed not only by the Bangsamoro indigenous peoples and other groups for security, development, fair access to decision-making, and acceptance of identities. Enduring peace can only be attained only if we meet these fundamental needs of every man, woman, and child. To our Muslim brothers, the Moro country, and the members of the CPP, NPA, NDF, let me say this. All of us want peace. Not the peace of the dead, but the peace of the living. We express our willingness and readiness to go to the negotiating table. And yet, we load our guns, fix our sights, pull the trigger. It is both ironic and tragic, and it is endless. While we extol the bravery and heroism of our soldiers, kayo, the rebels, do the same for your members and fighters. What I see instead are the widows and the orphans, and I feel their pain and grief, and no amount of cash assistance or the number of medals can compensate the loss of a human life. Sorrow cuts across every stratum of society. It cuts deeply, and the pain lasts forever. That is why I reach out to you, to all of you today, to our Muslim brothers. Let us end the centuries of mistrust and warfare. To the CPP, NPA, let us end these decades of ambuscades and skirmishes. We are going nowhere, and it is getting bloodier by the day. To immediately stop violence on the ground, restore peace in the communities, and provide enabling environment conducive to the resumption of the peace talks, I am now announcing a unilateral ceasefire with the CPP, NPA, NDF, effective immediately, and call on our Filipinos in the Democratic Front and its to respond accordingly. Let me make this appeal to you. If we cannot as yet love one another, then in God's name, let us not hate each other too much. So it was said, I say the same to you today. We will strive to have a permanent and lasting peace before my term ends. That is my goal. That is my dream. On the macroeconomic management, my administration will continue and maintain current macroeconomic policies and even do better. We will achieve this through prudent fiscal and monetary policies that can help translate high growth into more and better job creation and poverty reduction. By the end of my term, I hope and pray to hand over an economy that is much stronger, characterized by solid growth, low and stable inflation, dollar reserves, and robust fiscal position. On taxation, my administration will pursue tax reforms towards a simpler and more equitable and more efficient tax system that can foster investment and job creation. We will lower personal and corporate income tax rates and relax the bank secrecy law. Na presidente ako eh. Ayaw ko sana makialam dito sa mga to. Wala na. Well, anyway, may I continue? At the household level, there must be sufficient income for all Filipinos to meet basic food and non-food needs for their families. We shall continue to track investments that will generate thousands of jobs each year, jobs that are suitable for the poor and less skilled members of the workforce. Reforms to ensure competitiveness and promote ease of doing business will be mandatory. Reacting to these needs, the restrictions on the economy will be needed to make more investments to come and to develop labor-intensive industries such as manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism shall be pursued. We must also invest in human capital and ensure equal access to economic opportunities. The implementation of the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Law must be put into full force and effect. So that couples, especially the poor, will have freedom of informed choice on the number and spacing of children they can adequately care and provide for, eventually making them more productive members of the labor force. When employment is not an option, for instance, in extremely rural neighborhoods, entrepreneurship will be advocated. We shall also enhance the local business environment by addressing bottlenecks in business registration and processing, streamlining investment applications and process and integration, the services of various government offices. Government financial institutions shall come up with out-of-the-box financing packages to capacitate our small and medium entrepreneurs. In the field of tourism, we shall construct more access roads and tourism gateways to service centers and tourist sites. Road development projects shall complement with a trust to modern agricultural infrastructural and expanding and improving the construction and rehabilitation of roads and the irrigation, and establishing modern harvest and post-harvest facilities to minimize losses. We shall also conduct a nationwide soil analysis to determine areas most suitable for rice farming, optimize production, with the use of effective soil rehabilitation and fertilization. We shall strictly enforce fisheries laws, particularly on illegal fishing, and promote aquaculture along riverbanks and in backyards. On the other hand, we will accelerate infrastructure spending, improving national roads and bridges, and implement the Mindanao Logistics Infrastructure Network and other road network master plans. We shall pursue inter-island linkage projects. We shall be implementing structural mitigation to measure the address of the perennial flooding in Metro Manila and neighboring areas. We shall put up new pumping stations in strategic places. The revival of the operation of the Pasig River Ferry service system is a viable option for the severe traffic congestion in Metro Manila. This serves as an alternative mode of transportation for passengers, particularly those coming from the east side of Metro, to reach specific destinations within the cities of Manila, Mandaluyong, Pasig, Taguig, Marikina, and Quezon City. Our anti-colorum campaign and out-of-line apprehension, including the removal of terminals, will be intensified, and my God, it will be done. Immediately, to address lack of road infrastructure in Metro Manila, usage of existing roads will be maximized. Thus, there is a need to cooperate and coordinate with LGUs to map out secondary routes and to consult various stakeholders, including the public transport operators. Many in government opine realistically that I would have to agree that the worsening traffic situation could be logically addressed if Congress would also accord emergency powers to the agencies concerned. Ayaw mo, okay lang rin. Pero kita namin, kung gusto ninyong madalian, alam naman ninyo, sagad na lahat. Sagad na. Nasa inyo yan. If you give it, fine. If you don't, we take the longer route. Slowly. And tanggapin ko yung pagmumura ninyo. Huwag lang sa malapit. Ganyan talaga eh. You done it. It's an urgent and immediate situation. Solution. Gusto ninyo, madali, okay. Pag ayaw naman ninyo, because baka sabihin nyo, ang corruption na, hindi okay rin. I assure you. Wala ito sa script. I assure you. This will be a clean government. If that is the only worry that you have, I can understand your misgiving. Wala na ito sa haba. Wala na ito sa script. You know, ako magarantiya ako. 101%. It will be. Problem is, I can only act through agencies and departments. That's why I urge you, na masking kunting mali lang, wala akong ano sa inyo. Wala na akong politika, wala na lang. I'm through after this. I just passed on to you the information that I act through secretaries and everything. I cannot guarantee their honesty and competence at all times. Cabinet members, yes. Pero yung sa baba, yung procurement, yung magbibidding dyan. But as far as I can really, it malinis talaga to. At napag-usapan namin sa likod about the federal system. You know, my advice to you is maintain a federal system, parliament, but be sure to have a president. Wag, hindi na ako niyan. I'm disqualified, and by that time, I would no longer be here. But I can commit today to the Republic of the Philippines and its people. If you hurry up the federal system of government, and you can submit it to the Filipino people by the 4th, 5th year, kasi proseso yan eh. You call for a referendum, and after that, call for a presidential election, I will go. Sibat na ako. But you must have a president. You copy the France system. Huwag mo hiyaan yung puro na parliament, delikado. It takes time even for yung kagaya ng England. There was this bomb double deck. Took them time really. Because there's no one apparatus for a commander-in-chief down. You can be president, you can elect. Maybe Tito Soto will be the lucky guy at a time. O limitahan mo lang. Ceremonial powers, power to dissolve, power to accept the resolution or whatever. Mandating you this, do that. Or ceremonial powers, except in times of need. If there's a demand for action, you must have a president. Wala na ako niyan. I said, if you can give me that document, I will urge you to conduct, to call for an election the following week. And even if there's still 2 years, 3 years, I will go. Okay na ako. Do not worry about me. I am into that much ambition. Ay, nanalo ko. Hindi ko alam bakit nandito ngayon. No, nandoon lang ako. Totoo man. Sino naman nagsuporta sa inyo sa akin dito? Wala man. Not a single congressman, except for two provinces governor. Yun lang. Wala akong barangay captain. Wala lahat. Pero ngayon, processing time in issuing permits and licenses shall be reduced to the barest minimum. In my city, it is always 3 days for local governments. That will bind the office of the president down to the last barangay level. 3 days. 3 days. Local government. Business permit, clearances, no follow-ups. Bigyan mo ng stop. Be back next week. Tignan mo yung workload. And I will require every department, yung dito sa taas. They must have a logbook. Wag sa computer kay itong ganito na i-erase yan. Gaya mong date time, I accept the documents of Rodrigo Duterte. Then you go to your computer. You must have an actuarial projection, sir. Look at the workload. Napakabubo mo naman. Oh, ilan ang workload ninyo? Tapos, bumalik ka dito August 3. 3 o'clock. Yan, 3 o'clock. Bigay mo. Ibigay mo. Ngayon, I will be establishing 8888. Only for dedicated to corruption. Pag may marinig ako sa executive department, even a whisper, hiwalay-hiwalay na tayo. Marami dyan sa gallery, marami dyan, walang trabaho, nag-apply hanggang ngayon. Hindi naman lahat kasi mayayaman yan. Mga asawa ninyo ata yan. While the issuance and distribution of motor vehicle plates at point of sale o through motor vehicle dealers shall be considered. Wag na sa LTO kaya hanggang ngayon, panahon pa ni Hesus Kristo yung first plate nila hanggang wala. Bayad na yun at tilaw sa awa ng Diyos. For the driver licenses, its effectiveness will be extended from the current 3-year period to 5 years. To reduce queuing time at ticketing stations, tickets sa mga train will be made readily available and easily accessible to the riding public kung bilihin mo yan sa malls, stalls, and stores. Ipinagbibili mo yung diyan mo na ibigay. Accredited. Huwag doon banda sa recto, kasigurado pikihin yan ng mga ulol. May I address again to the Philippines. Ako po'y nagdodoble ang pagod para sa inyo, para sa kapakanan ng bayan. Seryoso po ako. Kayong mga ganon, tikit-tikit at magkaroon ng gulo. Huwag ho ninyong gawain yan. Ito na yung warning ko. Yun na yun, last. Wala nang iba. Hindi ko na gagawin ulit. Huwag ninyong sirain yung mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa namin para sa kapakanan ng tao. Mabuti ang magkaintindihan tayo ngayon. Maya yung bantay kaibigan ko trag. Kaya wag ninyong gawin. Simple lang yan eh. Para walang away sa gobyerno, yung mga bagay na illegal at masama at hindi tama, wag mong gawin. At hindi kami mag-aaway dito. Pati yung pare na, pati si Pau, tinamaan. Okay, let us be clear with each other. I am for the comfort and the welfare of the Filipino. Kayo namang hindi pa bungog dyan, hindi pa pumasok yung mga droga. Kung ayaw ninyong mamatay, ayaw ninyong masaktan, huwag kayong umasa dyan sa mga pare pati human rights, hindi nakakapigil yan ng kamatayan. So huwag ninyong gawin, tapos nandiyan ka, nakabulagtad, and you are portrayed in a broadsheet na parang Mother Mary cradling the dead cadaver of Jesus Christ. Ayan yung mga yan eh. Magdadramahan tayo dito. Dito ang nakatingin kasi dito yung public eh. Alam mo, ilang beses ko na sinasabi, sa Davao, wag mong gawin. Kasi magkakaproblema tayo. He who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. Ikaw yung nag-umpisa, you swallow Ulitin ko, he who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. Kami nagtatrabaho lang. We have a nation to guard. We have billions of people to see that they are healthy. It's a question of drug, it's a question of public interest, public order. Kita mo, lesser crime. Wala na kasing magnanakaw. Wala na nag-hold up. Kasi pare yan. Kita tapos sa bila, maliliit lang yan. Gamitin mo utak mo. If you're able to contaminate, kagaya ng negosyo ng mga Chinese, wholesale yan sila. Maski kunti-kunti, kung the whole of Tondo contaminated, pera yan. I'm not saying it's Chinese. The practice of itong wholesale retail, they go for wholesale. Maski na kumita lang ng isang piso dyan sa isang kaso, okay na yan. Kasi paramihan eh. Yan ang ibig kong sabihin. Now, I hope the military and the police will not react on this. It's part of the deep intelligence that we have regarded. I'm forced to come in public kasi pati yung mga pari nagaano. Alam mo, kayong mga media, naghanap kayo ng where's the big fish? Saan yung bilyonaryo na mayaman? Yung may kotse, may mga Mercedes, may... Ma'am, nanoon yan sila sa labas. Wala dito. Magdala ka ng isang batalyon na pulis para hulihin natin doon. Kung kaya din. Didirect the traffic of drugs sa kanila. Meron silang ganito. Malaki. Real time, nakikinig sila ngayon dito. I am very 101% nakikinig sila. Nandun, doon lang, isusuri nila sa Tondo. Itapon mo dyan. Tapos umalis ka, kunin mo daw sintidahan yung bag o package. Masabi mo nakikita ng media na kayo lang nagbabrand niya na drug lord eh. Those are not the drug lords. Mga lieutenant, delivery boy yan. Kumbaga LBC lang yan, pati DHL, federal. Pati yung tawag nilang basura, yun yung street, Huwag kayong maghanap. Gusto niyo, sabihin ko sa inyo, puntahan natin. I'll give you the names. I'll show you the intelligence dito. Pero give me the guarantee na may maggawain ka. Because I'll give you the name, I'll give you the country. Kung wala ka rin gagawa, mag-shut up ka. Kaya hindi lang kami do not get too personal about our work here. I'm saying that dito, balik na tayo kasi yung hindi nakakaintindi ng Tagalog, na yung nila. So, tagal naman itong passenger capacity congestion shall be addressed by increasing the number of running trains from the current 16 trains with a total of 48 cars per hour to 20 trains with a total of 60 car per hour. Now, you increase the train speed from 40 to 60. Ang problema nito, yung mga railway na ito kasali dyan. Huwag niyo maniwala dito. 2/3 of these are mine. The other 1/3 is correct yung grammar ko, yung lang nila. 60 km per hour. Problema nito, and you must agree with me, that the rails are quite aged. Most of the rails, maybe doon pa yan sa panahon ni Marcos, Imelda. Nandiyan pa. Ngayon, sabi ng Tugadi, kaya pagbigay sa akin, sabi ko, 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. May ko, Art, sigurado ka makahold ang rail yan? Baka maputol yan, magdiretso yung train sa Cavite. Diretso sa Cavite, maglipad, kay Tolentino. Bakit may train dito sa Tagaytay? It's quite fast. Quite fast, 60 kilometers per hour, and you're pulling something that's heavy. When it really moves, mawala ng it moves with the speed. At a heavy thing, at a great speed, mahirap mong sumasadsad kasi mabigat. And reduce headway time from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. Mahina lang tayo ng plano ni Tugati, mahina lang tayo ng 1 minute. Sa Hong Kong, 2 minutes, kanya 3 minutes. Art, ambisyoso ka. Kaya mo kayo ito. Specifically for the LRT, the operating hours shall be extended from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. Kasi marami pa mga bata mag-uwi niya. And to absorb more passengers, delays in the procurement of additional trains shall be addressed soonest. Now, yan ang sinasabi ko. If you want the long way, fine. Wala akong problema. Sabihin niyo na doon ang we go the normal way if you are able to make purchases. Ang maganda, I have signed the executive order sa aming FUI. Naunahan ko kayo. Yung inyo na, nandoon na sa akin. Tapos na ako. Ilabas ko na, it will be out today. Alam mo, sabi ko, unahan ko dating kongreso, puro mayayabangin mong buong dyan. We grab there's a stealing one's thunder. Kaya nga, unahan na natin. So, we shall also pursue rail projects in Metro Manila at the major key points and the country, including the Mindanao Rail Project. Hindi ako nagyayabang, pero totoo talaga to. Depende sa federal, but 6 years, lalabas talaga ito, I assure you, because it's going to materialize. Rail project, the about transit system, the Cebu transit system, the North and South Luzon Railways, and the Panay Railways project. Tama? Panay. Taga saan si ano? Panay. Panay ang bigay natin para sabihin naman Senator Delon, binakbait ka dito. Lagyan daw yung island mo ng train. May tawa pa. Binabakbait ka dito. Sumbong yan. Tingnan mo yan. Different approaches are also being considered to decongest NAIA, including the possible transfer of general aviation. Itong, hindi, ang style ko kasi, ganito, hindi naman ako, I'm not stick into formalities. Itong of general aviation, alam mo kung sino tiyatamaan yan? Kayong mayayaman. Kayong may mga helicopter pati aeroplano, ilipat ko kayo. Alam mo yung general aviation, yung mga Learjets, sa mga kumpanya. Ilagay ko kayo sa Batanes para wala masyadong air traffic. No. I'm offering Sangli Point. Kasi kailangan ko isang runway. I can make a new runway there, sabi ng mga aviation experts. But tumbok niyan is the Merville subdivision. Maka isa pa akong runway dito sa Metro Manila. But if not, then it's going to be Clark. But on a condition that you have a fast rail. Sabi ko kaya, something like 1 hour of travel, sabi ko kay Tugadi, is not acceptable. Make rail there, bago. Marami na ko pa. It's the vow of the day is the bullet train. Ilagay mo yan sa Pilipino na driver, sotoy talaga kayo doon. Maglampas kayo. The Clark Airport can be utilized to shift some operations of our domestic and international airlines. Moreover, a one-stop shop will be established within the civil aviation complex for the benefit of the overseas Filipinos. Ito, mangyari na ito. To utilize the Clark Airport, it is necessary to establish yung mga, well, you have a rail to connect. Tapos na yan, itaas mo na, kaya gitagalog ko na. In the area of environment, the military is directed to intensify its makinig kayo kasi gitawa dyan. Sa patrol against illegal logging, illegal mining. Diyan pa naman si Gina Lopez. And other destructive practices that aggravate the devastation of our natural resources. I have to protect the country. Many are complaining against the appointment of Gina Lopez. But si Gina, pati ako, we share the same paradigm. The interest of the country must come first. But hindi ko naman sinasabi, there's a law allowing mining. Gina Lopez and I are just telling you, follow government standards. Do not destroy the environment. Follow it to a T. Wala tayong problema. Just pay the correct taxes, follow the standards. Gina Lopez is just doing her job. You know, she is really a crusader. So, that is how I would describe her persona. Crusader. Kaya, sabi ko, tama yan. Kaya, bakit? Nandiyan ba si Ma'am Gina Lopez, Secretary Lopez? Ganito yan, pumunta siya sa Davao. Gabi na mga 1 o'clock because on the early days of my, but hindi pa ako nag-oath. Marami na nagpuntahan. Ito, felicitations, congratulations. Si Ma'am pumunta twice. Every time she shows me the degradation of ito na. Tapos, 2 oras naman, mukhang hindi na matapos, sabi ko, Ma'am. Ma'am, do not be offended. Totoo man, huwag kang magalit kay, it's the truth. So, mag-alas 3 na, you rudi, this man, tapos, extemporaneous na, parang congressman, ito, Ma'am. Kung Ma'am, mag-alas 4, Ma'am, ano kaya kung ikaw na lang ang Dina? Bigla rin siya nagsagot ka, totoo ka? Sabi ko, hindi yung, Siya, I will ask I'll consult my family and ask my, nila. Yes. Following day, tawag siya kay may 8 Bong. Sinabong, okay na, tinanggap na. Sabi ng pamilya ko, okay na. Sabi ko, ay, bantay kayo lahat. But I would not be appointing somebody who's alien to my thinking. I would take in somebody who shares my horizons in life. Especially yung degradation ng tama yan, she's a crusader and she will continue. And dito naman lagay is the DNR is likewise directed to review all permits granted to the mining, logging and other environmental sensitive activities to ensure compliance with government standards and if warranted, ito na yung pinakamaganda, amend, suspend, or revoke permits. Go ahead. I'd like to thank God that I had this opportunity, really. I never thought umabot ako dito. I've always had that karang sa isip ko, mahirap itong Kaya itong Laguna Lake, naubos ng mga, wala na ang fisherman Yun na lang the difference between one big fish pen to the other. Yun na lang ang sa mga tao. Makita mo sa plane every time, I go to Davao, I pass by that lake there. Every time kita ko, talagang wala na ano. And the fishermen are complaining about the loss. Talagang wala na sila. Kasi ang maliit na lugar, yun lang ang kanila. So dito, pinadaan ko lang a diplomatic way that the Laguna Lake shall be transformed into a vibrant economy zone showcasing ecotourism by addressing the negative impact of watershed destruction, land conversion, and pollution. Ito yung nilagay ko. Pero this is what I'm telling you. The poor fishermen will have priority in its entitlements. Order to Gina is, ayusin mo ma'am, wag mo namang ipitin, but they have to reduce the areas of occupation. They cannot have their cake and eat ito. Sila na yung may pera, sila na yung, this must stop. So, may siya tanong kung sinong may-ari niyan. Simple lang, mga general, mga mayor, governor, baka congressman. This is not personal. This is something which I feel that I must do because it is the right thing to do. To have adequate disposal facilities for Metro Manila garbage, the final closure and rehabilitation of the Carmona sanitary landfill shall be pursued, while the adoption of appropriate waste-to-energy facilities will be explored. Marami yan. The technology is coming very fast. In the area of governance, there's a need to strengthen our efforts along this line. Taas mo na. Mataas yung paragraph na yan. Ito. Select the best answer dito. Ang taas nito. Mabubuang ka. To better manage public information, a law should be passed, I'm addressing to Congress, to create the People's Broadcasting Corporation, replacing PTV4, the government-run TV station, which now aims to replicate international government broadcasting networks. Teams from these international news agencies, I'd like to mention it, those interested, BBC, are set to visit the country soon to train people from government-run channels to observe, ito ang gusto ko, total pera naman ng tao, to observe editorial independence through innovative programs and intelligence treatment, analysis of reports, as well as the development of national and international significance. The government's Bureau of Broadcast Services, better known as the Radyo ng Bayan, shall undergo upgrading to make it financially viable and dependable for accurate and independent and enlightening news and commentary. Radyo ng Bayan will be integrated with the PBC. As we are presently setting up a presidential communications satellite office in Davao City, PBC will also put up broadcast hubs in the Visayas and Mindanao. Davao City will also be the first site with the first Muslim channel called as Salam Television and the first Lumad channel. The PCO shall coordinate with the Office of the Executive Secretary and Presidential Legal Counsel in implementing the recently approved EO on the freedom of information. This is the executive order. It's out. As an example, on the part of executive branch to make transparency and integrity as yardsticks in government performance, savings, and expenses, while engaging the public to be vigilant and to participate in government programs and projects. The PCO, in coordination with the Executive Secretary, is drafting the administrative order on the Task Force of Presidential Task Force on Media Killings. This government does not condone violence and repression of media. The bona fide media, bona fide media. Sometimes they pronounce that bona fide, but whatever that thing is, the bona fide media has always been our partner for change. Di medyo klaro yan. Anong gawin mo sa hindi bona fide media? To address backlogs, unlock prosecutorial effectiveness and efficiency, the investigation and case management processes shall be streamlined, including those for illegal drugs and heinous crimes. To eradicate the prevalent cultures of fear and silence that have founded our justice system, I ask Congress, you, to enact the whistleblower protection law, while the present witness protection program shall be strengthened. Hirap ng presidente, maski dito lang. The number of years and support staff and the PAO, that is the Public Assistance Office, regional and districts, shall be increased to provide Indians with more access to counsels. I also have directed the DILG to undertake nationwide information and campaign on federalism in partnership with various alliances and with LGOs, civil society, grassroots, and faith-based organizations. Hinto muna ako dito, itong federalism. Ayaw ko kung tama ako. Alam mo, itong bayan natin, if I may just repeat, I know that you know, on 1521 or 1520, Magellan landed in Leyte. So, kumari ko man ito, damat mare. Mindanao was already Islam by 100 years. So, ano ito? It's an imperial thing. Historical injustice committed against the Moro people. We have to correct it. But it is well nigh impossible now. Kaya kayo mga kapatid kong mga Moro, alam naman ninyo, ako ay mix. May ganat ang tatay ko doon. So, some ay mixed blood ako. Moro, pati Christian. But, you know, intindihin na lang natin ito, that we cannot return to you all yung nang kuha mga Amerikano, Espanyol, pati yung mga Pilipino, mga kapitalista. Those who exploited Mindanao when that thing, sloganeering, go to Mindanao because it is a land of promise. With the vast entry of so many people, basically coming from the Visayas, karoon tayo ng, we cannot solve it the way you want it to be. We have to understand each other, then you have to live with each other. But we'll try. Ang sinasabi ko ng babalik ako, dahil ako sa federalism, both Ms. Suarez, Sema, and all, at least the political leaders ng Mindanao, will agree to it. We do not, remember that ako yung, hindi ko dinidikdik yung masyadong abusaya because it is really connected with the first talks between Ms. Suarez, the President, subsequently to President Marcos, and until now, the only way they said that we can have is, yung BBL, ibigay na natin, minus the things that we do not want, yung constitutional issues. Tanggalin muna natin, ibigay ko yung area, wala tayo, nandyan na yan eh. So I ask you, pass it, minus the constitutional issues that are contentious. Bigay na natin, at when the federal system comes, isali mo na sa package together with Ms. Suarez. That is the solution for Mindanao. Nothing else. Believe me, nothing else will do. Please sleep on it, ponder on it, because that's the only way to proceed. On the clamor of our citizens for timely issuance of Philippine passports, the government shall work towards amendment of the 1996 passport law to lengthen the validity of the passports from the current 5 years to 10 years. Total, kayo naman ang magagawa ng batas, the ones who will pass the law. Even if you make it good for 30 years, okay ako. Bahala ka. Basta stretch a little bit because 5 years is just really simply on a regular basis. Matagal pa naman itong passport. Mag-apply ako ng mga 10 days na. Alam mo, I'd like to call the attention of Secretary Asay. If you go to Davao, look back doon look at the back likod ng itong mall, yung malaki mo doon. Pangalanan lang natin, SM. Doon, yung mga tao, nandyan sa pavement, natutulog. For the many times, daan ako na ulang-ulan. Doon yan sila. Because first come, first serve. And the only outlet there, the outlet of your department is yung sa SM. So yung mga maawa ko dito sa side, sa Cotabato, lahat ng Cotabato doon sa Davao. Karamihan niyang ulang-ulang mga bahay. If you're applicant in Davao, say fine. But yun, ulang-ulang, mahirap kasi karima dyan mga muro, naghihiga lang dyan sa pavement. Nasasaktan talaga. Masakit. Yung buong gabi, mga hanggang magbukas yung SM. Kasi first come, first serve. Kasabi ko, well, that is addressing to all of the cabinet members. Make use of the computer. I do not want to see people lining up under the heat of the sun. I do not want people lining up under the rain. When I want itong labor, wala na ito sa script. Yung prompter na tutulog na siguro, pindot-pindot yan. Alam mo, andyan naman yan. Sabi ko, what I want is a journal. When the applicant presents the documents, give him a shopping list. Do not add or getting away from it. Yun na yan final. And when he complies with that, that is good. Wag mo na siyang pabalikin. Kasi kung magtawag yan ng 888, may God, puntahan ko talaga kayo. Yan ang bisyo ko nung mayor ako. Making a difference, mayor, presidente. Lagi tatiyain kita sa maraming tao. And I will ask you, what the hell happened to the procedure? Pupuntahan ko talaga kayo. Local, barangay, police, military, lahat. Bigyan mo ng shopping list, huwag mo nang pabalikin. Because pag magtawang ng 888 yan, tapos makita ko na the grievance is valid, bahala ka anong walang panahon, pupuntahan kita sa opisina mo and I will ask you. Bakit? Bigyan mo ng staff. You have to employ actuarial ability. That's easy. Pero pagtanggap ng tao, I'm addressing myself under me. Journal. Papirmahin mo siya. Lagyan mo doon, tignan mo sa computer. Kung mag-connect ka doon sa actuarial, doon mo kailangan ng bubo dyan. Kasi matatapos siguro yan mga next month. Tapos na. Projections lang naman. Kung balik ka dito, August 15, 3 o'clock. Pagdating, bagay mo. Now, if it goes to Malacanang, I'll open it up. For those who have valid reasons to complain about theft and corruption, the gates of Malacanang will be opened. Doon ka. Magsumbong ka. At I will be briefed by my military or or bigyan ng tubig. Sir, dito marami ka. Sabi ko, and the reason why I do not go out, I do not accept invitations. Hindi ako tumatanggap because every time I travel around Manila, it causes a huge congestion. Kasi itong pag-uwi ko, di go also may projection. Paglabas ni Presidente, picture taking, gano'n. And they start to block yung roads, access to the, gano'n yan. Every time ang President, gano'n yan. So paparahin nila yan, sabihin nila, daraan yan by this time. And in the meantime, sirado yan. Di paglabas ko, Calabo, Verde Santo. Walang sasakyan dyan. Ito pala, exponentially, ang traffic, the tail end of the traffic is somewhere 5 minutes. And it would take about 2 to 3 hours to normalize. Kaya hindi ako tumatanggap ng, and I hate to travel. Kasi talagang linis yan eh. Ito namang, kasi ang taas kasi ang tolerance ng Presidente sila. Durog sa dulo may ambulansya. Hindi na ang truck, parang kurtas ng... Sabi ko, 2, 3, nasa gitna lang ako. Pero ang totoo, taksi lang ako dito sa likod. Sunod lang ako. Takot ba sila? Ano, makuha mo kung patayin mo ako? What for? No, may ambulansya po. Dagdagan mo na ng punerarya. I have also ordered DFA to streamline documentary requirements and passport applications and open additional consular offices in strategic places, decongest Metro Manila sites, and avoid queues that have caused hardships and suffering to passport applicants. I have also ordered the newly created DICT, Information and Communication Technology, to develop a national broadband plan to accelerate the deployment of fiber optics cables and wireless technologies to improve internet speed. Ito sa alam ko, mahal kong mga kababayan, maligayahan ka nito. Paano mo lang yung Tagalog ko kasi hindi kayo marunong magbisaya Wi-Fi access shall be provided at no charge in selected public places, including parks, plazas, public libraries, schools, government hospitals, train stations, airports, and seaports. Diba? Happy lahat. All government agencies are instructed to enable their clients to submit applications or coordination, other agencies combined. Taas mo, wala na yan. Ayaw na magsalita. In the national portal, yes, because it's our parang website. Ito, we shall intensify, mainit talaga ako dito. I place it in parity with drugs. We shall intensify our war against human traffickers and illegal recruiters that prey on our migrants. To help ensure that the hard-earned money of the Filipinos are put into productive use, a mandatory financial education for all migrants and their communities will be pursued with intensive courage and entrepreneurship among them. I may now also ask on Congress to consider drawing up bills consolidating and merging agencies and offices having to do the overseas Filipino to have a department that shall focus on and quickly respond to the problems and concerns. Kailangan mo ng isa. And I have asked, I don't know, Secretary Bello is here. Debot. Wala. Absinero talaga yan. Sa cabinet absinero yan. Gusto, he will release some buildings in here for overseas only. At lagyan ko na i-direct all, BIR, lahat na, BIR, lahat something to do with the clearances of the police in one building, may booth lang. I said, my God, make use of the computer. So doon lang siya mag-ikot sa isang building. Ang Pilipino, di na siya magpunta doon sa statistics, di na siya punta doon sa ano. Diyan sa office niya. Gamitin ninyo ang computer and you can get results right after. Why do we he has to travel and he does not with the traffic? He can only accomplish one document at one time. And BI clearances, doonan ninyo bigay. Lahat na doon na. At kung dapat may awa sa sibilyo, pakainin niyo yung mga tao doon. Lalo na sa probinsya. Pag tingin ninyo sa probinsya, finish it right away. Make use of the computer. O pag hindi nyo ginamit, tako na lang ninyo. Throw away the computers, and I understand. It would take you years to do it. Do the computers. Taas mo na, wala na yan. Ito, to help avoid squatter-like conditions in relocation site, we urge utilities like Meralco and electric cooperatives exercise their social corporate responsibility by making direct connections to relocation sites and depressed areas. Alam mo kung bakit? Hindi na nilagyan nila dyan eh. That's why I had to talk to you ganito. Kung bakit? It's because walang kurente pagka mahirap ka. You do not own the land. The city would not. That is my experience 23 years as mayor. Hindi na magbigay ng direct connection. Kasi hindi ako may-ari ng lupa. But that squatter there has been there for 20 years. So mag-connect sila. Pagka-connect nila, ang gamitin nila yung wire na yung pinakamura. So it overheats because connect na lang sila kung sino yung minsan magnakaw. You know, you will have to make the adjustments. It is not for these people to make the corrections because they are not in a position to do it. We have to adjust to the needs of our people. Total yan naman yung as a squatter na yan. As long as I sit there as president, there will be no demolitions without relocations. Di talaga ba pa yan? Hindi naman aso yan na, just like in Davao. I'd like to make a dialogue with the businessmen. Sir, how much are you investing in this land you have bought with this squatter? So I bought it at about 60 million. Dagdagan mo ng 20 million. So 80. Ako na ang bahala. Sabihin ko doon sa mga tao, bili tayo ng relocation site or I will provide. Government will expropriate. I will make use of the expropriation powers. Okay, ako ganun sa Davao eh. I have 20 hectares there. I will expropriate some land there. Yung malapit lang. Then sabihin ko, this 20 million will help your journey to a new land. And I will urge everybody na yung mga bagong mga factories, doon sila magtayo. Magtiis-tiis lang muna kayo. In the meantime, you have to mitigate the hardships of these people. That's the only way to do it. Pero yung sabi, demolition, walang matirahan ng tao. Total, you sat on your rights for many years. Eh, bakit mo ngayon pipilitin mo ako